This podcast is brought to you by absolutely no one. We have no sponsors and no one cares. Hey guys, and welcome back to Mates Podcast. I am Matthew here with my wonderful co-host and best friend,
Callum.
Yeah, Callum. Do you want to? I can't speak. Get start the podcast. Do you want to talk to the subscribers and tell them what we're going to be talking about today?
Well, we've been a bit behind. Let's be honest.
We have, yeah. We've been slacking.
When did the last episode come out?
Last podcast episode, excuse me,
was
around 2.5 weeks ago now. But the last review was
it was
a week
more
ago.
than that, I think.
Oh yeah, it was musical, so it was quite a while ago actually. Good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zombieland.
Yep.
As by the title. Trying to get this out by Halloween. Well, it's gonna be out by Halloween, but this will probably serve as our Halloween episode, I would say.
Yeah.
But,
love how you say Halloween.
Halloween.
Whisper it into the mic.
Halloween. What do you say? Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the right way to say it. But yeah, do you want to give a brief introduction to the films and what we're going to be discussing, or any other points you had?
Well, Zombieland Double Tap came out today, and we just came home fresh from the cinema.
Yep.
We'd watched Zombieland earlier today. Made some notes on it to tell you guys about it. Our thoughts, our opinions,
We did indeed.
our likes, dislikes.
We did indeed. Yeah, we'd like to preface this by saying for Zombieland 1, well, the first Zombieland, obviously, no spoilers or non-spoiler section, just full spoilers.
Full spoilers. Yeah.
But for Zombieland Double Tap, spoiler and non-spoiler, I would say.
Yeah.
So given it's a new release and stuff, but
Yeah, we'll have a similar setup for our Terminator episode next week.
with Dark Fate and stuff. But that'll be up in a week's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So without further ado, buddy, do you want to kick us off with the first Zombieland then?
So sure, it's an incredibly short film, isn't it?
It is remarkably short, yeah. But I think it's quite good.
I mean, they pack a ton of heart, humor, and charm
And
into the short runtime.
I agree.
It's incredibly gory, I think, for 15.
Yeah, it
I mean,
is.
you're usually like a little bitch when it comes to that kind of thing.
Brutal,
So
yeah.
how do you find it?
See, I think it's close to Deadpool level. Do you know?
I'd say a similar level.
Similar level. Not quite Hellboy for me, but definitely up there.
I was just gonna say, like, Hellboy it's all CGI blood. There's no practical effects, and every time I mention gore, Matthew brings up, like, the benchmark for gore is Hellboy 2019.
I thought Hellboy 2019 was so gory. The most gory film ever.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you know, you never see brains though.
I've just realised it says that mic is now available to use.
I mean, it's not gonna sound better than
No,
this,
we'll
is it?
just go with this. But yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I thought you were gonna say that it isn't recording. Matthew, our tech genius, was just double checking the mic.
Tech Genius is well, goes without saying, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I wanted to mention about this film is the charm it has,
Yes.
and it doesn't feel like any other film to me. This film stands alone as its own franchise, really.
And it doesn't feel of its time, because a lot of films from, you know, the 2000s, even 2009, they have sort of like a cringe, non-timeless feel. You know, they make like awkward, weird jokes for the time, but I think this is without age.
For me, the film, for me, my favorite films really stretch from 2007 to 2009, which is so strange. Like that's just like that's when I really got into film. Really, I was like a kid and really enjoyed it, and I guess that's why I have nostalgia for like Spider-Man 3 and stuff like that.
Didn't 500 Days of Summer come out in 2011?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. What I mean is like 2007 2009 is a weird time for movies. I think because
You think that was one of the pinnacles of movie making?
for me, not necessarily quality, but for me just enjoyment.
Okay.
Because obviously you had The Dark Knight in 2008, which is considered one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
And then you've got Zombieland. We'll get into that. And then we've got Zombieland, and then obviously Spider-Man 3, which are three
Genius.
three different films. Like Spider-Man 3, I don't really know where I'm going with this.
You know, there's The Dark Knight, there's Spider-Man 3. You know.
No, but you know what I mean. Like for me, Spider-Man 3 is 10 times more enjoyable than The Dark Knight.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
100%.
And but any viewers that disagree, fair enough.
Slip Matthew in the comments, yeah.
Please do. But like, For me, those three films, I remember the buzz and the hype around them. Not necessarily Zombieland, of course, but those three films I just really enjoy, and they're just three examples of like of loads.
And you think they summarize the decade?
I would say so, just because you've got quality, fun,
And Spider-Man
and
3.
cringe, and Spider-Man 3. It just stands in its own, really.
Yeah,
but yeah. I just
it's
think,
a genre.
Quite literally, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really know where I was going with that point. I've just wasted a couple of minutes of someone's life. Sorry, guys. I feel like I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep.
It's rare that you hear so much voiceover in a film, but I think it does it expertly.
Refreshing.
And Eisenberg's delivery makes it funnier. I mean, he's a very dry character, isn't he?
He's got so much.
Poor fat bastard.
I know he's got a really nice exuberance to him.
Yeah.
I think he's a really great actor.
People hate Jesse Eisenberg.
I think his range is limited, but I think what he does, what he has in his wheelhouse is great. Like, I think
really, because I mean, I don't think I think he does have range, because obviously as Lex Luthor he was very quirky and he had sort of he had sort of nervous tics.
Yeah.
But in this he's reserved and he's calm and he's
he reminds me a bit of Moss from IT Crowd.
A little bit, yeah. I suppose. I wanted to ask you, Matthew, do you think that you would survive a zombie apocalypse? I think we would be the first to go.
Zombie, that's how bad I'd probably be.
But also, I mean, we're screwed just because we don't have guns or really access to weapons in the UK.
I don't think you'd be the first to go. I think you'd last quite a long time. I think I'd.
No, because I'm a non-violent person. I also wouldn't really want to kill a zombie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably kill myself, because like I wouldn't want to be eaten by a zombie, but also I wouldn't want to live in that world.
Yeah. On the subject of the zombies, I think the makeup effects are excellent.
Oh yeah, especially for the time.
And one thing I wanted to commend the film on is it sort of has a really nice, and this is going to sound quite a strange compliment, but it's got a nice color palette.
Yeah.
And I think it's shot really well.
It's surprisingly bright for, I mean, like, you know, what's meant to be a grim aesthetic.
And it feels like a real world. Like it feels like California and the west coast of America has been sort of taken over and has become like a dystopia.
I mean, even like, you know, the crashed plane in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a really nice set detail
for a low budget film. You know, it's not exactly like an extravagant film like World War Z or anything like that. You know, it's quite low budget.
Matthew asked me in the car on the way back, you know, what are the big zombie films that people think when they think zombies? What do they think of? World War Z? And
I think that's pretty common.
like, no, Matthew.
No.
Like, people think Dawn of the Dead. They think, you know, they think 28 days later, 28 weeks later. You know, like the big
Fair.
echelons.
Okay.
I mean, like, you know, George Romero's, you know, he has a huge franchise of zombie films, and I'd say they're probably the most famous.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll talk about those one day.
Hopefully. Next Halloween, maybe.
Perhaps, yeah. I liked seeing for the first time fast zombies because they actually seem to pose a real threat.
I think this takes zombies more in a realist. I know it sounds weird to say zombies in a more realistic manner, but it does because they're fast and.
I mean, they're humans with muscles. They should run as fast as a human.
Yeah, and yeah, like I know they're not shown to swim, but I'd imagine these zombies probably could swim as well.
They probably could. Have you ever seen The Walking Dead?
No.
Because
zombies swim in that.
No, just the zombies are so incredibly slow, but somehow characters still die. And I'm just like, it's perplexing to watch when a character is killed by a zombie because they're walking at like, you know, 1 mile an hour.
This film, it's understandable why you could see why people would die.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they get like inches to all the characters' faces before they get shot.
True.
Have to give a shout out to Woody Harrelson.
I love him so
I
much.
think he's the best performance in the film.
I think he carries this film on Double Tap.
I mean, yeah, I suppose I agree. I mean, he's certainly the high point of the comedy.
He's just a big softy, isn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Like when it's
a lovable dummy.
Yeah, I mean, he's intelligent.
Yeah. He's a like murder, but he's not smart.
He's a redneck. It is his name, is he?
Yeah.
When it's revealed that it's not the dog. Oh, sorry. Yeah, but it's not a dog when it's his young son. That hit me a little bit.
Oh, yeah. That's brutal. I mean, this is probably the fourth or fifth time I've seen the film, but yeah, when that was first revealed, I was probably too young to understand the impact of that. But yeah, watching it now, it's a bit devastating.
It is, yeah. Yeah, the casting in this film, for the most part, is great. And one thing I wanted to praise the film for was the Watchmen style opening credits.
Yeah, right.
Well, obviously same year released, I imagine, wasn't it?
Yeah, both 2009. I
But
think this is far less captivating though. I think the song
the film in
choices.
general, the intro.
The intro.
The intro's not good.
The intro to this film isn't as impressive as Watchmen.
No.
You know, musically, it's not even.
No.
As engaging. Yeah, it's hard to be. You know, the Dylan.
Yeah. Any other points there, bud?
I think we should talk about his fascination with Twinkies. Because Matthew asked
I
me.
don't know what a Twinkie is.
Matthew asked me during the film, "What is a Twinkie? Cream inside?" But I mean, they're absolutely grim.
Is it more of an American confectionery?
It is an American confectionery, but I've had it a few times. I don't know why. I don't know why I had it more than once. I mean, they're damp. They're disgusting. It's one of the things I
hate cream.
I would never look forward to eating that in a zombie apocalypse. When he came across the van of snowballs, I was like, yay.
Yeah.
I love a bit of coconut.
I like coconut. Bounty bars are lovely.
Yeah. What, guys? Why did the bounties get so much hate? Leave comments below.
Yeah, like in a box of celebrations, bounties are always the last ones left.
Yeah, I mean, good for the people who like them.
Which one I wanted to ask you to tie into zombie apocalypse? Who do you think if a zombie apocalypse were to happen in real life?
Yeah.
Like how do you see it going? Do you think this film depicts it in a realistic manner, and as to who would be left alive? You know, the mix of nerd, redneck, and two cunning woman, I suppose you could say.
I think this movie does a better job of it than Double Tap does, and we'll go into
Okay,
that.
that's
But
interesting.
yes, I think this is a fairly accurate representation. I would have thought more Americans would have survived the apocalypse. I mean, let's be honest, people in Britain, they're dead. They don't have weapons, you know. They don't have thousands of bullets in their like kids' bedrooms, you know.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Or
as
like
well.
grenades in the garage, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised more Americans didn't survive.
One of my only criticisms of the film is that they waste so many bullets, and the
Yeah.
the ammo is almost infinite.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally, a gratuitous sequence, of just, like,
Tallahassee
Woody
just-
Harrelson
yeah.
spraying bullets into the air.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, just for fun. And I'm like, maybe don't waste it, you know?
Yeah, I get it's only like a couple months after the apocalypse has broken out, but
Yeah.
even fuel seems. I suppose there would be fuel left in gas stations. But,
Yeah.
Even that's a sort of a criticism. One of the only criticisms I have with Double Tap is that it takes place 10 years after, and they're still working cars.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, you asked me this during the film, what the significance of the 3 on Tallahassee's vehicles is, and I still don't know, so
Yeah.
if any of you know, please leave it down below.
indeed, please do, because I think it either is a reference to his past, or maybe like a Easter egg or something.
Could be the age his son got to or something.
Perhaps, yeah, that's it.
I-
Because he was
I-
pretty young in the flashback.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I mean, if any of you have theories or the correct answer, let us know.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the scene where they're just like knocking over that convenience store?
I liked it, yeah, because I must admit, I don't know whether it's just me that thinks like this. It's quite a weird thought, but like cleaning that up afterwards must be a nightmare, just after filming. But anyway,
Okay.
I like to see them grow as a family more, and
Yeah.
so that was sort of conveyed through that scene very.
Yeah. I don't think we can talk about this film without talking about Sir Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, yeah, he's great.
He's amazing in this film.
One of my favorite movie deaths, actually.
Yeah,
Just 'cause-
I haven't seen this film in a few years, so I forgot how little he's in the film. But he makes such an impact. He's literally in 2 scenes,
yeah.
and I was surprised by how little he is in the film
Oh, he's
because
barely in it.
because of how big an impact he makes.
But I think because he's Bill Murray, like he just steals it. He just steals the show basically with any scene he's in because he's a great actor.
Absolutely. And I agree. I feel like one of his life regrets should be Garfield.
Yeah, I've never seen Garfield.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, we need to watch it
Is
for
it
like.
bad?
It's horrific, Matthew.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Okay,
It'll be amazing.
definitely.
I don't think that his disguise as a zombie would work, because, I mean, I assume that zombies hunt based on scent, because they can smell brains. So I don't think they'd be like, he looks like a zombie. We're good.
I'd always wonder like why zombies wouldn't go for animals first, given they're far more plentiful.
Yeah, I suppose.
But then there's not much meat in dogs and cats, I suppose,
Yeah.
in urbanized environments. But
I mean, I guess just the zombie virus craves human
I mean,
brains.
no animals are shown in the film, so maybe I assumed that.
Maybe they've gone extinct.
Maybe, yeah.
Uh, I, I, I have a thing. I don't enjoy overly extended deaths. You know, where like they pretend to kill over and they go like,
Yeah.
and like they just keep dying for like
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they do that in Deadpool 2, and they do that in this film, and you see it a lot, and I'm not a fan. What about you?
Yeah, not a fan either, mate. But I think this film, what it does well is action in general. You know, maybe not so much the fake out in terms of death scenes. Excuse me. But
You're not excused. Like what with disrespect to the subscribers?
sorry. But yeah, especially in the scene in the playground. You know, Emma Stone and her sister. Zoe
Abigail
Deutsch.
Breslin?
Oh,
No, Matthew, come on. Abigail Breslin.
who's Zoe Deutsch? Then?
Zoe Deutsch is in the sequel.
Who's
We'll-
Zoe Deutsch? Play?
We'll talk about Zoe
Okay.
Deutsch when we get to Double Tap.
Okay, Abigail Breslin, like, just because you're on the playground thing and you get trapped up high,
Yeah.
you're dead.
Yeah,
You
you're
know?
dead. I mean,
I'd rather die up there, to be
yeah,
fair.
but I mean, Matthew did mention during the film, how did they plan on getting off those rides? I mean, they're on that like sort of they're on that sort of like pirate ship boat that's swaying back and forth, and yeah, I've no idea what their plan was for that.
Yeah. But no, I just really love this film in general.
Mm.
Uh,
I'm surprised that like killing Bill Murray doesn't take more of a toll on Columbus. Like he kind of just shrugs it off after a little bit. I mean, yeah, I'm surely you would be much more affected by killing a human than by killing, countless zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, you're almost putting the zombies out of their misery, but I mean, like he straight up killed an American sweetheart.
I don't Bill Murray. Like,
I know.
One thing I wanted, you said to me before, Amber Heard's in this film, and she is
Yeah.
great in it. But like for what she's in, I think she's good.
Yeah, I mean, do you consider Amber Heard a good actress?
Yeah.
I mean, she's fine in this film. I mean, she does her job. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So I respect
I think
that.
she's good in Aquaman.
Okay. Okay. I did ask you during the film, like, do they plan on living in the theme park? I mean, there's no living facilities.
True. I think Bill Murray's house is probably a pretty nice neighborhood, you know.
Yeah, I would have committed to staying in Bill Murray's house.
Yeah.
I don't see what they had to lose by staying there. I suppose they were afraid of committing to a group, but
Yeah. I guess that's one of the things, like with zombie movies or any post-apocalyptic movie, it's hard to stay. It's impossible to stay in one place unless you live near like a supermarket or something.
do you not think in one of the final sequences that Wichita's aim is unreasonably good? Because clearly she hasn't started, shooting until like the last few months when the outbreak occurred. But I mean, she's nailing headshot after headshot.
Yeah, true.
So I thought that was a bit questionable.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the death of the Twinkies. One of the saddest moments in movie
Hilarious, though.
history.
Just Harrelson's face.
Harrelson's performance is
I
incredible.
think he's great. I really.
I
think
mean, he
he's
seems more devastated by the Twinkies than by the death of his son.
good. Yeah, fair.
And I love that performance.
Why he likes Twinkies.
No, it's never explained, and it's never brought up in the
He could have
sequel.
said that I assume it's because his son.
Yeah,
liked
I was
Twinkies, because he
thinking.
did say like he has a similar sense of taste as well.
Yeah, I was expecting that it was probably his son's favorite thing, but then yeah, that's never brought up. I would have liked that bit of
Connection.
that bit of backstory.
Yeah,
That
so-
little pièce de
Peppering
résistance.
of emotion.
I think that this film could easily stand alone. I don't think that the sequel is entirely necessary.
Yeah, true.
like-
I apparently there was a cancelled Amazon or Netflix series.
Yes, there was a Netflix series and they released a pilot that recast all of the guys from the film.
Oh.
And yeah, I think it would have been fairly successful if they had just, put it out like with new characters set in the same universe. But no, they regretfully cast like no name actors as, as the characters from the film. And I think that was a huge mistake because I think setting a TV series in that universe, I mean, it's like, Walking Dead, but it's actually good.
Yeah.
Because
Gold Dust.
it's funny. So I think they easily could have been successful with that if they hadn't decided to do the recasting.
I think this film would work by itself very well, but I like the characters enough that I'm not.
Oh, I mean, I was
There's a
glad to see a continuation. I just think that I was never clamoring for a sequel for this because I was so full up on the genius of the film.
Yeah.
Like it got me to a certain point where I wasn't begging for more, but I was really satisfied, which I think is perfect.
Absolutely.
Because then a sequel can be good and unnecessary.
That's quite rare these days as well.
Yeah, so I think they should more films should do their best to be that way, because then if they're not financially successful enough to have a sequel, the fans are satisfied.
True. Speaking of sequels, did you want to rate Zombieland and move on to Zombieland 2?
Sure, I will give this film a 9 out of 10.
I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I really like this film. Great film. Now moving on to Zombieland Double Tap. Beginning with non-spoiler section first, as we normally do with many reviews.
My thoughts are fairly brief on this.
Most of mine are non-spoiler, really. To be honest.
So do you want to jump into non-spoiler?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you, do you think it's as good as the original?
No, I don't think it's as good as the original, but I mean, we can get onto our final verdict when we rate it. Massive hater piece of shit.
Absolutely.
But no, I don't think it's as good as the original.
Okay. Obviously, this film has the main cast return, and I think Woody Harrelson carries it even more this time. But I think for people who haven't seen the film or are going to see it maybe this weekend or something, don't expect as much Eisenberg because he's not in it as much.
I think.
Neither's Emma Stone actually.
Well, they've added to the ensemble, so overall the main four get less to do, get less screen time. That's not a spoiler because that's just a fact of life, unfortunately. Like that's what happens when you have a bigger cast. The parts get diluted. But I mean, I was incredibly surprised that they got the entire cast back, just because they have such a high profile actors there.
Yeah, and
I mean, Emma Stone's an Oscar winner.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson is Oscar nominated, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
So I think they would have cost a lot more to hire for the film now as well. Than probably
no, I don't think so.
You think they came back for the same money?
I think that they. I mean, when I last heard about it, I believe that it was being made on a very low budget, so they took lower pay to please the fans.
Oh, very good. Well,
because I mean, this has been in the works for the entirety of the 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, it's made by the same writers as Deadpool, and
different director.
And the same director as Venom.
Oh yes.
No, the same director directed 1 and 2.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna say it's remarkably similar.
Oh yeah, it's very consistent. I have to say.
You can watch them back to back like we did very easily.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, yeah, it works very well as a double bill.
Absolutely.
I found the music unnotable.
I think the score and the soundtrack are both unnotable.
Yeah.
Which is.
And yet we noted it.
Yeah. But just in terms of performances, I think Woody Harrelson probably gives the best performance of the film. Probably the worst would go to Abigail Breslin.
Abigail Breslin, yeah.
I
would agree.
Yeah.
She is bland. I will admit.
Yeah. Emma Stone's. Emma Stone's not as good as I was expecting. I'll be honest. She's definitely not as good. Obviously, this is a way different. It's a way different film to La La Land, but it just seems like her performance in La La Land and then Zombieland Double Tap are like two completely different actors.
Oh, they are, yeah, very much so. But I think both are of equal merit.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think she's exactly spellbinding in La La Land.
Okay.
Because as we know, I didn't review that very nicely. I quite like it.
It's okay.
But I mean, Gosling's the standout in that film. But I was still impressed with everyone's performance in this. Specifically, Zoe Deutsch, as we mentioned, Madison.
Yes. Okay.
Because we'll get into details on this character, but she plays an incredibly annoying character, but she plays it to a T.
Excellent.
It's one of the worst people you could ever encounter, but the fact that she's able to portray that so accurately shows that she must be a great actress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, it takes a certain kind of actor to be able to play that kind of person so accurately, and you will see what I'm talking about when you see the film.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. One thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned it so as soon as the film ended. It's so short; it just goes in like that, really.
Yeah.
And I honestly, legitimately thought this was like halfway through the second act or something when it ended, because I honestly felt like an hour, not even. But to me, it felt so short.
Yeah, I mean, and it went at such a breakneck pace.
There's so much action, and I love that. To be honest, people go to zombie movies for the for the thrill, you know, and I think the film just encapsulates that perfectly.
I mean, I would argue that this is one of the very few zombie films that isn't slow and boring. Because you say people are there for the thrill, but I mean, you know, zombie films are usually about like meandering, like subhuman creatures that you know can't even run properly.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
I mean,
like,
it's
Shaun of the Dead is. I know it's not a A-list zombie film, but like it's the only other one I've seen. Really.
like the point is, you know, I think to effectively do a zombie film, there it needs to be injected with comedy to contrast the zombies who I mean really are quite a pedestrian antagonist.
Yeah, true.
Because I mean, you know, like they're just, you know, they're human esque, but they can't, you know, walk properly.
Yeah.
And you have to shoot them in the head. Like, you know, it's quite a boring concept that needs to be elevated, I think, with comedy, which I think this film does incredibly effectively.
I agree.
I expected it to be bad because for one of the first times I'd actually watched a trailer, and it looked like Zoe Deutsch being Zoe Deutsch, because she does play this kind of character in other films, but I thought that was just her personality as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see in her performance that's clearly her acting.
Yeah.
And it's not who she is. So I think I'll look differently on Zoe Deutsch when I next see her in a film.
Do you think Rosario Dawson's good?
Oh, Rosario Dawson's incredible in everything she does.
I think she's a fantastic actress.
So yeah, I mean, lovely woman.
Lovely woman, yeah. Great actress as well, and I think she elevates the film a lot. Like,
Yeah.
she brings out a different side to Tallahassee as well, which I like.
Yeah, yeah, we get to see a more fun-spirited Woody Harrelson, and
We do.
I always love that. Mustachioed slightly.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a goatee going on, but without.
Oh, a bit of a porn stash.
You could say so. Yeah.
A wispy porn stash.
I think this film does callbacks really well with the Red Mountain Dew, the clowns, and also the sequel.
Mm.
And I would love a third one.
So Matthew, how would you rate it?
Massive hit.
I agree.
Yes.
I concur with massive hit.
Massive hit. Like, do you think, just in case people turn off now, would you like a third one? Because I think a third one's almost needed.
I don't think it's needed. I think it's left in a way where I am again satisfied. So I mean, props to them for doing that again. I mean, you know, I'd say almost no franchise is able to, you know, repeat that kind of success, you know, twice.
For me, I would like a little bit of a time jump again, and I'd like to see sort of Tallahassee and Nevada almost become like grandparents, and for Columbus and Wichita
Wichita, yeah.
Wichita to have like a kid or something.
Okay.
I think that would be a nice plot for the film. But I'm trying to think where they could take it in the third one. I think if you're going to do a third one, you have to kill off a member of the main cast. Because I expected one of them to die in this film. Great flick.
Mm.
So, massive hit.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. So if you're going to continue listening, we're moving on to the spoiler section. So if you're stopping listening, stop now.
Yep.
So Wichita's a bit of a pill in this, isn't she?
I think she's good.
Well, no.
It's a bit brutal. She's very brutal what she does. Yeah.
I mean, you know, Columbus is. They've been dating for 10 years, and he finally proposes and asks her to marry him. She could say no. She could say I'll think about it. She doesn't say anything, and she leaves.
Brutal.
Which is, you know, probably the worst thing you can do. It's fine if she wants to do that, but she can't come crawling back and then complain that he's moved on. She says like, "Oh, you moved on quick. It's been a month," and he's heartbroken. Like, why do you have any right to say that he isn't justified in doing that?
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
That baffled me.
Can I just say, do you think Zoe Deutsch reminds you of Molly May from Love Island?
100%.
I can't unsee it.
Okay, I see that now. Do you want to say that a little louder for the people?
Yeah, I was just pointing at Callum, since we're avid Love Island 2019 fans.
2019 fans.
Well,
Yeah.
2018, 2017, 2016. We're Love Island fans.
I did they do it in 2016?
I believe
Okay.
so. We agree that Molly May, Madeline's has striking resemblance to Molly May Haig, fellow YouTuber.
Yeah.
And Love Island star. We say that as if we're like high up in the YouTube community.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think.
You said Madeline, but that's not her name, is it?
Is it?
I've already forgotten her name.
That's the point of her character, though. Like the characters forget her name as well.
What is her name?
Madeline. I think it's Madeline.
No, I don't think it is.
I'm gonna Google it.
I said it like 2 minutes ago. I don't
No,
remember.
it's definitely Madeline.
Dude,
Yeah,
really?
alright, I'm just gonna on the Google here.
Yeah. No need to edit this out,
Yeah, just we can keep
Yeah.
filibustering it. Her name.
How was your day, Matthew?
My day was okay. I'm very tired, buddy. I'm very tired. Sorry, but even the Google doesn't have her name. I think I have to go on there which is Wikipedia.
That's embarrassing.
And her name in the film, she's also in Amazing Spider-Man
What?
as
Who did-
Gossip Girl in a deleted scene.
Okay.
And I think I read somewhere she's in X-Men or something. No, she's not.
No.
No, she's definitely not. She plays Madison.
Madison.
Damn it! What did I call her?
Madeline. I said Madison like 4 minutes ago. I mean, yeah, she is a forgettable. She's not a forgettable personality, but a forgettable name, I suppose.
One thing, this is a bit of an abstract point, but I think people could argue that this film is offensive to pacifists.
Okay.
Uh,
Would you like to pursue that assertion,
I would,
Matthew?
because it sort of presents that in a post-apocalyptic world, pacifists have no place because the only human method of surviving is through killing the zombies.
Yes.
And Woody Harrelson, no, actually no, I'll leave the actor's name out of it, but I think certain members of the Zombieland group are starting to sort of
Deride them for having those views.
yes, and
Yeah.
I do agree. Like the whole pacifist Babylon environment is a hyperbolized view of pacifism and things. But I just thought I thought it was interesting because they sort of make fun of them for not having guns and stuff, even though it's the only properly thriving human settlement we've seen, and that's without violence. And
Okay.
I just thought it's not something that I believe in, but it's something that I can see other people could criticize the film for because, I think it was quite noticeable for me that it could be argued that the film, I think this film, people say the Joker condoned violence and stuff. That criticism was ridiculous. I think this one's more warranted, if anything, because
Really?
just the attitude it has against pacifists in a post-apocalyptic world. It's not something that I believe in.
Well, I
it's
mean,
just something
the
that I
point
thought-
is, Joker is set in, human society, which we do live in. We don't live in a zombie post-apocalyptic society.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think you can present as much violence in a post-apocalyptic film as you want to, because you're not going to encourage people to kill zombies if zombies don't exist.
Yeah, part of me is playing devil's advocate here. Like,
Yes.
it's not something I believe in, but it's just something that I noticed could be apparent to others.
But I don't think that that's a criticism of the film. I think
Yeah,
that's
no,
a
not at
criticism of Tallahassee, because it's not the film that's criticizing pacifism. It's Tallahassee, because he's such a gun-toting badass.
Yeah, and I like that. That's what makes an entertaining film.
Yeah.
I did like that. Part of me thought when Tallahassee came back that it turns out they didn't melt the guns but just hid them away or something just in case. Like I think that would have been better.
Yeah, I think it would have been funnier if the people who alleged to be pacifists just were the most violent amongst them.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a funny, shift of perception.
Speaking of funny, I thought the doppelgangers were great.
See, I was surprised you used the word doppelganger as well. I wrote in my notes that the doppelganger gag went on way too long.
You think?
I found it funny for 5 seconds. If they had done it as simply a visual gag, but then they have a 3-minute dick measuring contest between him and between what were the two guys? It was Columbus and some something.
Flagstaff or something.
Flagstaff. I mean, that was
Something like that.
They
Do look remarkably similar.
They do look very similar, but that made me uncomfortable just how long that went on.
I thought I'd say one of the best scenes of the cinematic year for me was the one take in the Elvis Hotel. I didn't
Okay.
notice that was a one take until 3 minutes in or something.
You realised it hadn't
And
cut.
I hadn't cut. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I like it. It was full of visual humor as well.
It was,
In that Tallahassee hits Columbus in the face about 2 or 3
Yeah.
times,
I did
and
like-
with the callback to the first film when he says, don't swing, swing, and then this time he misses,
yeah.
and then he batters Columbus in the face.
I do agree. The whole what was it, commandments and rules
Yeah.
gag went on way too long.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I loved it.
Okay. In the final act, they stop the zombies from pursuing them by lighting fire around them. But I mean, if they're so desperate for human brains, I really don't think fire is going to deter them.
Yeah, I guess blowing them up is an alternative. But yeah, fire. Yeah, probably
But I
wouldn't
mean,
stop
like
them.
zombies won't be like, oh, fire, danger. They'll see fire, walk through it. Like I really don't think it would have been the deterrence that it was in the film.
Yeah, like, and I know like it comes across like I'm always criticizing the film, and I always just do this. Like both of us do it for films we enjoy to
Yeah,
a certain extent. But there's supposed to be the new T-800 zombies that are super smart, and yet they're jumping off cliffs.
yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
I thought that was a little bit. I
Well, I
mean,
think they're supposed to be the most like athletically evolved, but the Hawkings, as they
oh
call them,
yes.
are the most
Also,
intellectually evolved.
they introduced the Homer the. I thought that's a missed opportunity because I think that could have added like horror-esque vibes to the film.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you could have had a surprise death. I mean, you said to me before we went in that you thought Tallahassee was gonna die,
Yeah.
and at the third for the majority of the third act, I agreed with you because, they constantly play out his impending death, and I think it would have been funny if instead of at the end when a Homer runs on and falls off the cliff with the rest of the T-800s, if just a ninja had come out of nowhere and just killed Tallahassee despite his brave efforts and the save by the rest of the team.
Yeah,
I think that would have been
I think
like
it was a missed
a really
opportunity for the
shocking
film.
thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think the film probably would have been elevated for me if it had ended on a more depressing and dark note.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah, I mean, they still found comedy in Bill Murray's death, so I don't see why they couldn't have had a somber moment where one of the main characters are killed and then, still managed to make a joke out of it, because I think I would have respected the film a bit more
I
if they
think they
had
could have
tried
got
that.
away with killing off Columbus to be honest as well. So I feel like his character arc is almost completed.
Mm. I
It's
mean,
just a hassle.
the one character that I had just, I mean, complete indifference to was Little Rock. I mean,
Likewise.
if she had died, I wouldn't have. I mean, I would have barely batted an eye.
Yeah.
It would have had no effect on me. So I mean, I suppose I'm glad that they didn't kill her off and try to make that a big deal because it wouldn't have felt like a big deal to me.
She's not bad in the film. It's just as unnoteworthy, I would say.
Yeah,
But as I said, like I think Rosario Dawson's a great addition to the film.
yeah.
Like to get into spoilers, I mean, she has a sort of an ex machina moment.
Oh, I literally have that down. Yeah, Deus Ex Machina, because I think once I was asked to explain this and I was meant to give an example of Deus Ex Machina, but it's kind of a struggle, when you're asked on the spot to think of an example. But this is probably one of the first times in the cinema where I've been like, that's a massive Deus Ex Machina. And if you don't know what that means, it sort of means like a save at the last minute from
Yeah.
impending
The,
doom.
the only other one that I would say the biggest one ever,
Yeah.
probably the portal scene in Endgame. Now,
Okay.
I would say so.
Well, I mean, I suppose, I mean, they weren't really, they didn't really have an impending doom at that moment because I mean, like, I think the three of them could have taken Thanos
You think?
and his army. Yeah. I mean, Thor's basically unkillable. I mean, this has no relevance. I mean,
Endgame debate. Yes.
Thor's essentially unkillable.
Yeah.
So I think him alone could have taken Thanos and his army.
Yeah. Sure. Well, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, this was a huge example of that, and yeah, I did have a bit of an eye roll because I was like, right, of
I
course.
didn't mind it. I just really like this film.
I would have respected the film if it had, in that moment said, yeah, the zombies won. But, obviously, they were able to continue the action and keep it fun, so I didn't have a huge problem with that.
What are your opinions on the Madeline return? Oh, sorry. That's her name. Madison.
Madison. It did actually surprise me.
So did I. I thought it was I thought it was like a dream or something, or a.
Or I thought that, the way they talked about zombies constantly evolving,
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be a reveal that zombies now just look like
Me
humans.
too.
And I thought that Columbus had let her go, but that she was going to come back and be a human-esque zombie. But yeah, that completely surprised me.
I thought that it was analogy was a little on the nose, but I thought it,
Yeah.
it was.
But I mean,
it shocked me.
she's screaming at him, "I'm a monster." Why wouldn't you be like, "It's a nut allergy"?
Yeah.
She's going, "I'm a monster," and I'm like,
Yeah.
right, okay.
But I think her character's I think her character's a good character, but also I think she has a romance now with
Berkeley.
Berkeley, yeah. Which
I mean,
wasn't
that
expected.
seemed like a good match. I mean, they both seem like douches. So,
I don't mind Berkeley. No, Berkeley's a plagiarism.
oh yeah, I mean, don't you insult Bob Dylan by stealing his lyrics?
But
I mean, one time, does an instrumental version of Like a Rolling Stone. The song which I once tried to play in Matthew's grandparents' kitchen, and it was instantly turned off by his grandmother, and that upset
She's
me.
more of a Cliff Richard girl.
I thought that she would have loved a bit of Bob. No?
I can't say she does. I don't think. I don't know if she does, but did you have any other points just before I mentioned Bill Murray?
I did not have any more points, Matthew.
Do you want to mention Bill Murray?
Of course. Yeah.
Pretty funny cameo.
Yeah, I mean, usually it happened sort of mid credits, so I was expecting like a few seconds, a joke, or some sort of setup for a sequel, because I'd heard that there was a post credits moment, but I wasn't expecting a full scene with Bill Murray, especially like as violent and badass as they presented.
Yeah, and it included Beyond the Trailer as well.
Yes, a YouTube star that we both watch, Beyond the Trailer. She was in there playing a zombified reporter.
Yeah.
So yes, that was interesting to see. And you enjoyed one particular line. Would you like to share it?
Can I be honest with you? Drugs cost money.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
I mean, that would be your only motivation for doing Garfield 3, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. But no.
I mean, Bill Murray looks so old. They made
He's only 67.
Seriously?
Yeah.
But like they made
60s,
they made no effort to make him look 10 years younger.
He's younger than my granddad.
Really? Like they made absolutely.
I'm not saying my granddad looks young, but. I mean,
yeah, they made absolutely no effort to make him look 10 years younger though.
Like.
Which like.
He looks really. I don't know.
Like he looks beyond his years. Like I felt bad for him.
Oh, sorry, he's 69.
Okay.
So same age as my nanny.
Okay.
So, but I know.
Any final thoughts, Matthew?
For me, if we could give a rating, a 9. I loved it more than the first.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So one of the rare occasions where a sequel improves on the original.
That's why I wanted a third, just to say they could go to the 10 out of 10.
Okay. I would say it didn't capture the same charm. It made me feel happy, but yes, it was quite over and done with quite quickly. I think with a bit more further development with some of the characters, I think that they would have been able to capture that feeling again. Maybe if they had committed the same amount of time to the Tallahassee, Nevada romance as they did with the Wichita and Columbus one in the first film, sort of that driving force of the romantic plotline maybe would have elevated it for me. But I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, like one thing I forgot to mention was the intro where they're storming the White House. I
Yeah.
thought that was really, really well done. The slow motion and stuff, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that sort of stuff. I really nice color palette as well.
Yeah.
Like the straw fields and stuff, I love that.
And that's incredibly unique for a zombie film.
Yeah.
Because they're usually much more bleak in tone and dialogue.
Yeah.
And plot.
So yeah, that'll conclude our thoughts on the Zombieland franchise.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you all for listening. And then I'm trying to think what will the next episode be. Terminator.
Terminator will be our next foray into the podcasting realm.
Yeah, so be sure to check that one out, and as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting. We really do appreciate that.
Share with your friends.
Yeah, please do. We would really appreciate it. Thank you to all the new viewers as well, and for old and existing viewers, we appreciate and love it all.